Eve is finally here in Disney Speedstorm, and today I am going to be showing you guys how to unlock her as efficiently and as cheaply as possible, because Eve is actually pretty unique compared to every other mid-season racer, and that's because she doesn't have a time trial. Rather, Eve just has two normal standard limited events. You're not competing against other players, just the AI, and you just need to have certain characters unlocked in order to get all of her shards. So she has two events here: Classified Directive and Extraterrestrial Vegetation Evaluator. And you can see that each event has 5 Eve shards up for grabs. Now, this first event I think is easier than the other one in my opinion. You need a level 15 Wally in order to complete 7 objectives, and if you complete 7 objectives, you get 5 Eve shards just like that. Very easy. You just need to have Wally unlocked, which is quite a feat, I'm not gonna lie. I know a lot of you guys might not have Wally unlocked, but as long as you have him at 1 star, you should be able to get all of the available Eve shards from Classified Directive. Now, I did already complete Extraterrestrial Vegetation Evaluator. I wasn't recording on accident, so that's my fault, but there were 5 Eve shards as well as all these rewards up for grabs, and to get the 5 Eve shards, there were 5 different objectives. You needed a Sully, a Minnie Mouse, a Woody, a Mike Wazowski, and one other character, Steamboat Pete. You needed them all at level 22, so at 2 stars, and those characters aren't the easiest to get. Steamboat Pete and Minnie Mouse especially are pretty hard. Mike Wazowski and Woody aren't too bad, and we have a Sully Star Chaser active right now. So those 3 should be easy, but as long as you have all 5 of those characters unlocked and at level 22, you can get 5 Eve shards from the Extraterrestrial Vegetation Evaluator event. But now let's hop into this event. All the objectives require a level 22 Wally, but again, you only need him at level 15 in order to get the Eve shards. And these objectives might take a couple races, so let's hop into it and earn the last 5 Eve shards that we need to unlock her. And like I said before, the first 5 were available in her other event, which you need the 5 unique racers: Minnie, Pete, Woody, Mike, and Sully. You need those 5 at 2 stars to get 1 shard each. But now here we are with Wally. For some reason they've chosen Kauai as the map for these events. I'm not 100% sure why. I know Wally and Eve don't have their own track, but I'm not exactly sure why they're here. Maybe because it's like so different from the Wally environment. Like the Wally world is like in ruins, and this is so lush and tropical. Maybe because Eve seeks out vegetation. I'm not really sure, but I don't mind because Kauai is my favorite track in the game. But let me know what you guys think about these new EVE events. Do you prefer the time trials for mid-season characters, or do you like it this way more? Me personally, I'm not really sure what I prefer. I think I do like the time trial more. These events are kind of disappointing. Like, it's not like a bad system, it's just not exciting. Like, you know? Like, the time trial events are really fun. It's really fun to like make my guides on it and discuss all the best routes with like the top players, and the whole community's kind of working together to figure out the best strategy to get the best placement possible. And that just really doesn't happen with these more standard events. It just feels kind of basic, and not as fun in my opinion. And also, I think it's a little worse for most players to unlock, because anyone who's new to the game or doesn't have Pete or Minnie is pretty much going to be locked out of getting those Eve shards unless they like spend money to unlock those characters, which just it's really not fun for people, in my opinion. I think it's a lot better when everyone has an equal shot at getting into the top 10% or whatever. I don't know, like it's better than if the event would have been top 1%, like some people were speculating, but overall I'm just not like, it's just not super fun, in my opinion, the way these events are structured. Okay, so we need to complete 2 more objectives in order to get those last couple of Eve shards, and then she will be fully unlocked, and we can actually take a look at Eve herself, the main event of all these different limited events. So what 2 objectives are going to be the easiest? Perform an aerial stunt 3 times and use 20 skills. I mean, we can just use 20 skills and drift boost. It shouldn't be too difficult. Then we can actually go down to the apprentice difficulty now. My Wally is level 35 though, so it doesn't matter too much. And now we are on the jungle ruin. So yeah, it seems like they're leaning into Eve seeking out vegetation and stuff like that and different plants and just having really lush tracks, which makes sense. I like how they keep it on theme even though there is no Wally track. A Wally track would have been really cool. I would definitely like if they made tracks for some mid-season franchises, especially Walt Disney World and Wally. I think that would be really exciting, but tracks are some of the harder things for the team to make. So I think we're pretty much just going to be getting one per season. I don't know if we'll ever see a Wally or Walt Disney World track, though it would be exciting if we ever did one day. Now Eve is a defender, I believe, which is really weird. I thought she was going to be a brawler, but defender is okay. My issue with defender is I don't have enough of their class specific upgrade materials after spending so much on Ariel and Elsa the last 2 seasons, and I have an excess of brawler parts, so I would have preferred if Eve was a brawler, but it does kind of make sense that she's a defender. Now, what I've heard so far is that she isn't a very powerful character, which is a little unfortunate because I would like to upgrade Eve, but it seems like the character I'm going to be investing in from the Wally franchise is Wally himself, and I'll probably just leave Eve at like level 30 or so, and not upgrade her much further than that. Part of that, though, again, is because I just don't have the class-specific upgrade parts to do that. Now, we did get news not too long ago that there are going to be more EVE events next Friday. There will be a time trial, however, I think it was stated that you're going to need Wally to participate in the time trial, which is really interesting, and I don't know how I feel about that, because again, the aspect of the time trials that I really liked was that everyone could compete in it, everyone had a fair chance, and there was the whole like sense of community coming together. Whereas the time trials that are not regulated, like the Star Chaser Cup that required you to have Mike Wazowski, all these events, they were just not very like fair for everyone, and it just wasn't as exciting as the mid-season events. And honestly, I would much prefer if the mid-season events were more consistent, because between Oswald and Hortensia and Wally and Eve, they've all been like really like different from each other, and I don't like that a lot. I much preferred the Hades and Gaston season, where the mid-season racer events were pretty much identical, and while they weren't incredible, they were both fair and fun, and it was really exciting for the whole community to try and unlock those characters. But enough complaining, we have unlocked Eve. There she is, looking pretty cool. I love her design, the futuristic colors, it looks clean. It's cool. Eve is unlocked, not showing her picture, but hey, that's okay. We do have one event left, but I will worry about that later. Let's head over to our collections. Now, in the event that you don't want to wait for the chance to get more Eve shards, or you can't complete all these events, of course, we always have the shop. You can buy the Dancing Among the Stars box and gamble your way towards Eve shards. I probably am not going to buy any of these boxes. As much as I would like Eve's Epic Crew Member in order to complete the Wally collection, I just don't think it's worth it for me for the amount of tokens that it will end up costing. And then obviously she has all of her cosmetics, no starter pack, but you can buy the extra Eve shard packs. It says limit 1, so I guess you can only buy 5 additional Eve shards, so that's interesting. But here she is. Let's level her up all the way to level 15, and then we'll hop into one race with her in ranked multiplayer. If you want to see more gameplay of Eve, perhaps a strategy guide or something, be sure to let me know in the comments, because I'm totally open to making it if enough people request it or suggest it, or just want me to make that kind of content. I definitely enjoy doing those guides. I think we're going to take Eve into regulated regardless, so I'm not too worried about upgrading her. Looking at her skins, they all look pretty nice. I'm a big fan of this one, the Axiom Captain. I think that's my favorite. This one is available in ranked, which is pretty nice, and then this one is also one that you have to purchase. And then looking at her skills, it is Plasma Cannon. Eve activates a trigger happy stance for a short period of time and shoots the first 3 opponents that enter her visibility range. And then recharged, Eve instantly shoots several explosive projectiles forward. Very interesting. We'll see how that actually pans out in regulated multiplayer. Let's take her in right here, and let's hop in, see how we do with Eve. But yeah, honestly, this unlock guide, I know it's not nearly as exciting as it is when there's time trial events, and I'm really sad that they're gone. I hope they come back next season with the mid-season racer events, because in my opinion, they are way more fun than what we have going on here. I just don't enjoy them nearly as much. Okay, am I the only Eve in this lobby? I think I am. We got an Olaf, an Eric, a Stitch, Mickey Mouse. Good amount of people, but I believe I am the only Eve. She looks very interesting in her car. Just something I'm not used to. Alright, let's do this though. Stun someone to get my shield really quick. I do want to get her unique ability as much as I can. See if he can pull it here. Nope. She does have Rush though, which is nice. I always love characters with Rush. I think it's my favorite common power-up in the game. And then she is a shield defender, which is quite unfortunate because the difference between a shield defender and a cloak defender is very substantial. It makes quite a large difference. Shield defenders tend to be a lot worse than cloak defenders in the meta. And for more information on that, I will have my tier list out soon. Okay, so we're gonna press our normal activation here. She puts a little field in front of her, and then if someone gets in the field, you just stun them like that. You saw there, it worked on Daisy. And it lasts for a decent amount of time. Still going, I believe. Nope, it's gone now. Okay, so yeah, I mean, at power 1, it lasts for a decent amount of time. It's not like super long or anything, but I feel like it's long enough. And then we will activate our charged ability, which shoots a couple blasts forward, as you can see. Kind of like a better version of Olaf's snowballs, or just a different version of Olaf's snowballs. I don't know if it's objectively better. Okay, we're gonna stun him with our laser field. Yeah, Eve's kit definitely screams brawler, which is why I'm a little disappointed that she's a defender. Just because it's so stun heavy, like you can see, she's shooting like crazy. She has a laser field. Honestly, her kit does not stand out for me. For a mid-season character that is going to have hard to obtain and star up crew members, they need to have a really good ability and good stats to be viable, and I just don't think that Eve has that. Like, taking a look at her abilities, it's just not super fun. Like, they're very stun heavy and they're satisfying to use, but they're not good enough. It can only stun people in front of her, and racers like that just don't tend to be super strong. She really doesn't have a ton of defensive tools other than her shields. I think she would have benefited from Cloak or an ability that could stun racers behind her. But there you have it, that is Eve. Let me know what you guys think of all her events. If this guide was helpful, I know it's not super in-depth like my other one are, but again, these events are really basic. But I will catch you all in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.